Hey everyone, how's it going? Gonna do another one here. Hope everyone's doing all right. Listen, I got a question. All you guys that do videos, do you guys do crib notes or do you wing it? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not a public person per se, but I just try to wing this stuff. Say whatever the hell pops into my head. I think one video maybe I wrote crib notes, and that was my extra texture video a while ago. But I'm just trying to come up with some ideas to, get some stuff out there. That being said, anybody ever notice, hardcore collectors, when a series of stuff comes out or things come out, there's always one, and I think I mentioned this before in a different video. There's always one, and never fails, that seems to be harder to get than the other ones in the set. And it used to drive me nuts in my younger days. It doesn't anymore. I mean, back in the day when we didn't have the internet, for all you guys that are younger, yeah, we didn't have internet, we searched this stuff down in stores, Venture, Zare, EJ Corvettes, places like that, stores that don't exist anymore. There was no online. And I remember back, I want to say 20 something years ago, I got my first computer. It was late 90s. And it opened a whole new world. And I found this place called the Fab Four Superstore. And at the time, the new thing that was out at that specific time were Corgi toys. And I personally, I don't know, I thought they were cool. This catalog, and I think Beatle Brad showed this a while ago, but this is a catalog that came out back then that showed the Beatles collection. It had the Beatles collection in it, and so forth and so on. But I can't speak for anybody else that bought these, okay? But I'm just curious. Anybody that bought this set, did you find one harder to find than the other ones back then? Now, no, it's easy to find them. But that being said, these came out, like I said, late 90s, 97. Excuse me. And this is pretty much an exact replica of an original, which is on my bucket list I do not own. But I thought that, the packaging's pretty cool. The biggest difference between this and an original is the original, the construction when you turn it over. Keep this in mind. I should have did a repro video on this. The original's riveted. Every incarnation that I know of after that are screws. So if it's a riveted one, chances are it's an original 68. But I've never taken any of these out. I bought them because I thought they were cool and I couldn't afford an original. So, but anyway, you know what? There was a series of 6 of them. This was another one. This is the second one. It's like a graffiti van. Came with, I think there's a little lead statue in here of, 2 screaming girls holding up a sign that says the Fab Four. But yeah, it was the second. And then they had the Routemaster bus. And they used this image for a few things. The telephone comes to mind. There was a phone that came out roughly about the same time. But these came out, they weren't too expensive, honestly. But like I said, there was always one, Then it's the Taxi with Rita the meter maid. And the Taxi, I think, was used, it was as a cookie jar. by the company Vandor, and there's a little Rita statue in there. And the fifth one is the Magical Mystery Tour Bus. This one's pretty cool. This is the first time they released this. I mean, since then there's been a few here and there. But then, after getting these 5, it turned out that the 6th one just bit us in the butt. We couldn't find it anywhere. And 2 years after these came out, I got my first computer. And I found that Fab Four Superstore, and lo and behold, online at that store, they had this one. This one we could not find anywhere. Like I said, there's always one. I'm just curious if anybody else experienced the same thing, you know. But this was the Anthology truck. Anthology was big, 95, 96 through that, So, but yeah, we had a hell of a time finding this one. And that was the first series of Corgis that came out. Up above my head, all the way across this way and this way, there's nothing but Corgis also. But then they came out with another set around 2000, and they were the mini Corgis. There's the first incarnation of the mini Magical Mystery Tour Bus. It's in a hard plastic case. Like I said, I've never taken it out, so I don't know if you can hear that, but I should probably turn it down. I don't want to get flagged again. Then they made a mini Route Master bus. Yeah, the packaging's kind of cool. There's the back of it. Like I said, these all came out around 2000. Then they made the taxi, the mini taxi. Next one was the Yellow Submarine, but this time they changed it. And if you look, there's no hatches, and the 4 Beatles are sticking out of it. The color's different. There's no buttons on it to pop the hatches or anything. And to stress my point again, there was a 5th one. And that 5th one was made, and then it was not, they didn't have the license, I guess. And a handful of them, a few of them got out. Okay? Same thing. Here we go again. Was it intentional? Was it, an accident? I highly doubt. I'm pretty sure it was intentional. That's just my opinion. But the one that you can't flip and get, and they show up very, very seldom, and when they do, they are buku flipping dollars, is this one, which is the George Harrison Mini Cooper. Okay, this one, they didn't have a license, that's what they claim, and they had to pull it. So that being said, here's another set with one that's a pain in the butt to get. My brother refused to buy the minis. He bought the sub when it came out, that was it. Decided he didn't want the rest of them. And then one day, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, boom, he got his hands on the George Harrison one because he didn't want to do it because I can't get that one. He got his hands on the George Harrison, the Mini Cooper, this one. And next thing I know, he went and rounded up the rest of them. He's got all 5 of them. But that being said, I was just curious, I mean, if you guys run across that. Disco cases. One, the brown one, pain in the ass to get. Okay? The plates above my head, right here, there was one. Okay, that when those came out, they came out like, I think once a month or every other month or whatever it was. There was one. that we had a hell of a time finding. 20th anniversary picture discs. When those came out, they came out on the 20th anniversary of the original singles. In the States, at least where I was, the one we could not flip and get was Hello Goodbye. We had a hell of a time finding that one. That was a lot of going through trade magazines and finding record stores in our area at the time that possibly had it. I don't even recall where I got it from, but I know that was the hardest one for me to find. And we were buying them as they came out, but for some reason, the place that was ordering them for us could not get that one. So, but it never fails. There's always one thing, you know. But I'm curious if you guys run across that, you know, being collectors, whether it be Beatles or, you know, whoever, whatever. Just curious. On that note, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody.